Imagine a small village in Nigeria. Get the moon hides behind thick, angry clouds, and the air feels heavy, like it's holding a big secret in a tiny mud house with a rusty tin roof. A girl named Ify is coiled up on a mat, her heart beating so loud it sounds like drums in her ears. She's only 15, but tonight she's not sleeping. She's whispering to herself, a voice shaky. What have I done? Oh God, what have I done? Her hands are pressed tight against her belly and she's trying not to cry, but the tears come anyway, hot and fast, because Ify has a secret so big it could break her whole world apart. She's pregnant and she doesn't know how to tell anyone, not her street mother, nor her father who calls her his little star, and definitely not the boy who promised her the moon but ran away when she needed him most. What will happen to Ify? Will her family ever forgive her? Well, let's find out together. Ify was like a little sunshine in her village, a place where the sun always shines hot, and the palm trees sway like they are dancing. She had big dreams, sparkling eyes, and a laugh that made everyone smile, even the grumpy old women selling peppers at the markets. Ify loved school. Oh, she loved it so much. She'd sit under the big mango tree with her books, dreaming of being a doctor one day. I'll make people better, she'd say to her best friend whenever they are together while they share a piece of sugar cane. I'll build a big hospital right here and no one will be sick anymore. Her friend Chika would giggle and say, Ify, you dream too big. But Ify didn't care. She wanted to shine like the stars her father always pointed at in the sky. Her mother and father loved her so much, but they were strict. Her mother would say, Ify, you are a good girl. Don't let boys come near you, eh? They'll spoil your future. And her father would nod, his voice deep like thunder. School first, Ify. Boys can wait until you are a big woman. Ify always nodded and said, yes, mother, yes, father. She wanted to make them proud. She wanted to be their little star forever. But when Ify clocked 15, everything changed. It was during the village festival when the whole village came alive with music and laughter. Drummers banged their drums, boom, 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 and women danced in colorful wrappers, their beads jingling like tiny bells. Ify was there with Chika, wearing her favorite yellow dress that her mother had sewn for her. She felt so pretty, swirling under the lantern lights, her braids bouncing. That's when she met Emeka, the boy with sweet words. He was 17, tall and handsome, with a smile that made Ify's stomach feel like butterflies were dancing inside. Emeka wasn't from a village. He came from the city to visit his uncle. He walked up to Ify and said, you are the prettiest girl here. You know that? Ify's cheeks got hot and she looked down, shy. My name is Emeka, he said, his voice smooth like honey. Can I dance with you? Ify knew she shouldn't. Her mother's words echoed in her head. Don't let boys come near you. But Emeka's smile was so nice, and the music was so loud, and everyone was laughing and dancing. So she said, okay, just one dance. They danced under the stars, and Emeka whispered, you are special, Ify. One day I'll take you to the city. We'll have a big house and you'll be my queen. Ify's heart felt big and warm. She thought, maybe this is what love feels like. After the festival, Emeka didn't leave the village right away. He stayed with his uncle, and every evening he would wait for Ify by the river where she went to fetch water. Ify, my sweet girl, he would say, holding her hands, you make me so happy. He'll bring her little gifts, sometimes a shiny bracelet, sometimes a piece of chocolate from the city. If he felt like she was in a fairy tale, like the ones her teacher told in school, but if he had to be careful, she couldn't let her mother and father see her with Emeka. So she would sneak out after dinner telling her mother, "I'm going to Chika's house to read." Her mother would say, "Don't stay too late, eh?" And if he would nod, her heart racing, she'd run to the river where Emeka would be waiting, and they'd sit under the moonlight, talking and laughing. Emeka would say, "Ify, I love you. I'll never leave you." And if he believed him, she thought, "He's my prince. He'll take care of me." One night, Emeka pulled her close and kissed her. Ify felt scared, but she also felt special. "Don't worry," Emeka whispered. "This is what people do when they love each other." Ify didn't know if it was right, but she didn't want to lose Emeka. So she let him kiss her. And then, one night, things went too far. Ify didn't know how to stop it. She just wanted Emeka to keep loving her. But a few weeks later, Ify started feeling sick. She would wake up in the morning and feel like she wanted to throw up. Her tummy felt funny, and she was so tired all the time. At first, she thought it was malaria. Everyone in the village got malaria sometimes. But then, she noticed something else. A monthly visitor, the one her mother told her about, didn't come. Ify's heart started to pound. She remembered what her teacher said in school about how babies are made. No, 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 she thought. It can't be. She ran to Chika's house, her hands shaking. "Chika, I think I'm in big trouble," she whispered. Chika's eyes got wide. "What kind of trouble?" Ify told her everything about Emeka, the river, the kisses, and the night she couldn't stop him. Chika gasped. "Ify, you are pregnant." Ify started to cry. "I don't know. I'm so scared." "Chika, what if it's true? My mother will kill me, and my father will never look at me again." Chika hugged her tight. "We need to be sure," she said. The guests waited until the market day when her mother was busy selling yams, and they sneaked to the small clinic at the edge of the village. The nurse there, Auntie Ugozi, was kind but firm. She did a test, and when she came back, her face was serious. "Ify," she said, "you are going to have a baby." Ify felt like the ground opened up and swallowed her. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. All she could hear was her own voice screaming inside her head. "What have I done?" Ify knew she had to tell Emeka. He loved her, right? He had promised to take care of her. So she waited by the river that evening, her hands trembling. When Emeka came, he was smiling, but when Ify told him, "I'm pregnant," his smile disappeared. His face turned hard like stone. "What?" he said, his voice cold. "How can you be pregnant? Are you sure it's mine?" Ify felt like he had slapped her. "Of course it's yours," she cried. "You are the only one. Emeka, you said you loved me." But Emeka stepped back, shaking his head. "I'm not ready to be a father," he said. "I'm going back to the city tomorrow. I can't do this, Ify. You should have been more careful." And just like that, he turned and walked away, leaving Ify standing there, her heart breaking into a million pieces. She called after him, "Emeka, please, don't leave me." But he didn't look back. Ify fell to her knees by the river, the water rushing past her, and she cried until her voice was gone. She felt so alone, like a tiny boat lost in a big, scary ocean. Ify couldn't hide it forever. Her tummy started to grow, and her mother noticed. One evening, as Ify was washing plates, her mother grabbed her arm. "Ify," she said, her voice sharp, "why is your stomach like this? Are you pregnant?" Ify's mouth opened, but no words came out. Her mother's eyes filled with fire. "Answer me," she shouted. Ify burst into tears. "Yes, mother." She sobered. "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Her mother let go of her arm and stumbled back, her hand on her chest. "Chineke," she screamed. "God, what have you done, Ify? You've brought shame to this family." Her father came running in, his face confused. "What's happening? I heard you shout," he asked. When Ify's mother told him, his face changed. He looked at Ify like she was a stranger. "My little star," he whispered. "How could you?" Her mother started to cry, loud and angry. "Who did this to you?" she demanded. Ify told them about Emeka, but when they went to his uncle's house, they found that he had already left for the city. There was no one to blame but Ify. The neighbors started whispering, and soon the whole village knew. "That Ify girl, so young and already spoilt," they said. "Her parents must be so ashamed." Her father wouldn't talk to her anymore. He would just sit outside, staring at the sky, his face sad. Her mother kept shouting day by day, "You have ruined your life, Ify. What will happen to you now? No school, no future." Ify felt like she was shrinking, smaller and smaller every day, like she was disappearing. Life got harder for Ify. She had to stop going to school because the other girls laughed at her, and the teachers said she was a bad example. She stayed at home helping her mother with chores, but every time she bent down to sweep, her back hurt and her tummy felt heavy. But her mother wouldn't let her rest. "You made this trouble, you carry it," she would say. This went on and on. She wished she never listened to Emeka's sweet walk. Now she's left to bear the shame alone. But she endured for 9 months. Ify's baby came on a rainy night when the thunder roared like a lion. Her mother took her to the clinic, and Auntie Ngozi helped her. It hurt so much, and Ify cried for hours, but finally she had to cry. It was a girl, so tiny, with eyes just like Ify's. Ify named her Nyoma, which means good mother, because she wanted to be a good mother to the child, even if she was so young. But having a baby didn't make things better. If she couldn't go back to school, and no one in the village would give her a job, who will? Who will hire a girl with a baby? They'd say. Her mother and father had to work harder to feed everyone, and they blamed Ify for it. Ify loved Unyoma, but she felt so trapped. She'd look at her little girl and think, "I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to make people better, but now I can't even make myself better." Years passed, and Ify grew up fast. She was 20 now, and Unyoma was 5. A little girl with a big smile, just like Ify used to have. One day, Ify met a kind woman named Sister Ada, who ran a small school for girls in the village. Sister Ada heard Ify's story and said, "Ify, you made a mistake, but your life isn't over. You can still shine." She gave Ify a job helping at the school, and she let Ify start learning again. Ify worked hard, harder than she ever had. She'd teach the little girls during the day, and at night she'd study under a lantern with Unyoma sleeping beside her. It wasn't easy, but Ify felt like she was waking up again, like a flower blooming after a long dry season. She even started telling her story to the girls at the school, saying, "Listen to your mother and father. Don't let boys trick you with sweet words. Your dreams are important. Don't throw them away." Gradually, her mother and father started to smile at her again. "We are proud of you, Ify," her father said one day, his voice soft. "You are our star again." Ify cried happy tears that day. Her life wasn't perfect, but she was stronger now. She looked at Unyoma, who was playing with a little doll, and thought, "I'll make sure you have a better story than mine." Ify never stopped dreaming, even when life felt heavy, like a big bag of yams on her back. She worked so hard at Sister Ada's school, still teaching little girls how to read and write, and every night she'd study her book. Unyoma, a sweet little girl, always slept beside her, snoring softly, a tiny hand holding Ife's wrapper. Ify would look at her and whisper, "I'll make you proud, my baby. I'll be a doctor one day, just like I promised." Sister Ada saw how hard Ify worked and said, "Ify, you are so smart. You should go to a big school and become a doctor for real." Ify's eyes sparkled like the stars in the sky. "I want to, but how, Sister Ada?" she asked. "I don't have money, and I have Unyoma to take care of." Sister Ada smiled and said, "Don't worry, Ify. God always makes a way." And God did make a way. Sister Ada helped Ify get a scholarship, a big gift that paid for her to go to a school far away in Lagos, where she could learn to be a doctor. Ify was so happy but also a little scared. She had never left her village before, and Lagos was so big, with tall buildings and noisy cars everywhere. Her mother and father hugged her tight before she left. "We believe in you, Ify," her father said, his voice soft like a warm breeze. "You are our star again." Her mother added, "Take care of Unyoma, eh? We'll visit you soon." So Ify and Unyoma moved to Lagos. Ify studied hard at the big city, learning all about how to make people better. She learned how to listen to hearts with a stethoscope, thump thump thump, and how to stitch cuts so they wouldn't hurt anymore. Unyoma went to a small school nearby, and every evening they'd sit together, eating puff puff and telling stories. "Mama, are you a doctor yet?" Unyoma would ask, her big eyes shining. Ify would laugh and say, "Not yet, my love, but soon." Years passed, and Ify worked harder than ever. She'd stay up late reading her books even when her eyes felt sleepy. She'd think of her village, her parents, and all the people who needed a doctor. "I won't give up," she'd say to herself. And she didn't. One bright sunny day, Ify finished her school, and they gave her a big paper that said she was a real doctor. Dr. Ify. She wore a shiny black gown and a funny square hat. And Unyoma clapped so loud, shouting, "That's my mama." Ify felt like her heart was dancing. She had done it. She was a doctor, just like she had dreamed when she was a little girl. Dr. Ify got a job at a big hospital in Lagos, but she also had to go to other hospitals to learn even more. One day, she was sent to a hospital in Ibadan for special training. The hospital was busy, with nurses running around and the people waiting to feel better. Ify loved her work. She'd smile at the patients, hold their hands and say, "Don't worry, I'll help you." Everyone loved Dr. Ify because she was so kind, like a warm hug on a cold day. One evening, Ify was checking her list of patients when she saw a name that made her heart stop. "Emeka Okeke." "Emeka?" she thought. Could it be him? Her hands started to shake, and she remembered that night by the river when Emeka had left her all alone, crying and scared. She remembered how he'd say, "I'm not ready to be a father," and walked away, breaking her heart. But Ify took a deep breath and said to herself, "I am a doctor now. I'll do my job no matter who it is." She walked into the room, and there he was, Emeka, older now, with tired eyes and a bandage on his arm. He'd been in a car accident and needed a doctor to help him. Emeka looked up, and when he saw Ify, his mouth opened like he'd seen a ghost. "Ify," he whispered, "is that you?" Ify nodded, her face calm but her heart racing. "Yes, Emeka," she said. "I'm Dr. Ify now. I'll take care of you." Emeka's eyes got wet with tears. "Ify, I'm so sorry," he said, his voice shaking. "I was a foolish boy back then. I didn't know what I was doing." Ify listened, but she didn't see anything at first. She remembered all the pain, all the nights she'd cried, but she also remembered who she was now. A strong woman, a doctor, a mother. She didn't feel angry anymore. She just felt nothing. She treated Emeka with care, making sure his harm got better and his pain went away. She checked his chart, gave him medicine, and even smiled when she said, "You'll be okay soon." Emeka kept trying to say sorry, but if he would just nod and say, "It's in the past, Emeka. Let's focus on getting you well." She was kind, but her heart was close to him. She had forgiven him, but she didn't need him anymore. A few weeks later, Emeka was all better. His arm was healed and he could walk again. Before he left the hospital, he asked Ify, "Can I see you again? I want to make things right." Ify thought about it, then said, "You can come to the village next weekend. I'll be visiting my parents. But don't expect anything, Emeka." He nodded, his face hopeful. That weekend, Ify and Onyoma went back to the village. The village was the same, palm trees swaying, children running around, and the hair smelling like roasted plantain. Ify felt happy to be home. Hugging her mother and father, who were so proud of their doctor daughter, Onyoma played with the other children, her laughter filling the air like music. On Sunday, Emeka came. He knocked on the door of Ify's family house, holding a small bag of oranges as a gift. Ify let him in and they sat outside under the mango tree. Onyoma was playing nearby, kicking a ball with her cousins. Emeka looked at her, then at Ify, and his eyes got wild. "Ify, is that our daughter?" Ify nodded. "Her name is Onyoma," she said. "I didn't get rid of her. I raised her, and she's my everything." Emeka's face crumpled. He started to cry. "I thought you might have." "I didn't know," he said. "Ify, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I want to be her father. I want to be in her life." He reached out, but Ify pulled back. She called Onyoma over. "Onyoma, my love," she said, "this man is Emeka. He's the one who helped me make you, but he left us a long time ago. He wants to be your daddy now. What do you think?" Onyoma was 10 now, looked at Emeka with big serious eyes. She held Ify's hands tight and said, "I don't want him to be my daddy. You are my mama and my papa, and you love me. He didn't love us when I was a baby. I don't need him." Ify's heart swelled with pride. She looked at Emeka and said, "You heard her. We have built our life without you, Emeka. We don't need you now." Emeka tried to say more, but Ify shook her head. "You made your choice back then," she said. "I forgive you, but we are not your family. Go live your life and let us leave house." Emeka stood up, his shoulders heavy, and walked away. Ify watched him go, feeling light like a bird flying free. She hugged Onyoma close and whispered, "You are my star, my love." Ify went back to Lagos with Onyoma and she kept being the best doctor she could be. She opened a small clinic in the village, just like she had dreamt, where she helped sick people feel better. Everyone in the village loved Dr. Ify, and they would bring her gifts, yams, chickens, even a goat once. Ify would laugh and say, "Thank you, but just be happy and healthy." That's enough for me. Onyoma grew up strong and smart, just like her mother. She loved school, and Ify made sure she knew how important her dreams were. "You can be anything, Onyoma," Ify would say. "Don't let anyone stop you. Not a boy, not a mistake, nothing." Onyoma would nod and say, "I want to be a doctor like you, Mama." Ify never saw Emeka again, and she didn't mind. She had her family, her work, and her little girl, everything she needed. She'd look up at the stars at night, the same ones her father used to show her, and she'd smile. "I'm still your star, father," she would whisper. And she was a star that shone bright even after the darkest night. So, little ones and big ones, what did we learn from Ify? Even when bad things happen, you can still chase your dreams, just like Ify did. She became a doctor, even after everything. She never gave up. And when Emeka came back, Ify showed us that you can forgive someone, but you don't have to let them back into your life if they hurt you. Ify and Onyoma were strong together, and they didn't need anyone who didn't love them. So, always be brave, always be kind, and always keep your dreams big. Okay? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. Until next time, stay kind.